Hi, everybody. Good morning. This is your psychic Christine. Thank you so much for listening in. I really appreciate your follow. So, in my most recent podcast episodes, I have been talking about how important it is to have a good mindset, how negative thoughts draw negative energy to yourself, how positive thoughts draw positive energy to yourself, how self-love is very important because so many of us just give out our energy out to others and can really find ourselves drained and depleted of good energy, okay? And how important it is to have balance. I'm all for helping, giving to people. That's good as long as it's balanced, okay? So in a way, you have to look at your good energy like a bank account, okay? You don't want to deplete it, and you certainly don't want to go minus either. And if anything, your good energy is, and self-love is more important than money, okay? So let's look at this, okay? I'm hearing a lot lately, and it's coming to surface, the narcissism. Narcissism is kind of, we're hearing about it everywhere, okay? And I don't remember which type of disorder this is, but nonetheless, it is considered a disorder. So let's talk about that, okay? Because they would be the polar opposite of whatever an empath is, whatever a giver is, and all that good stuff. A narcissist would be the polar opposite, okay? If anyone of you are not familiar with narcissism, please go ahead and Google it. And they represent a large number of the population, and I've done quite a few readings for people that were involved with this kind of person. And actually, some people actually call them energy vampires, okay? They are limitless as far as how much they can take from another human being. And they usually connect themselves to people that are able to give of themselves in any way, shape, or form. So in all of my reading and learning about narcissism, and before the reading and any of it, and before this all became such an interesting thing to look up, I always had this observation of a narcissist, and that has been that, they totally and utterly take care of number one. Totally and utterly, okay? They give nothing to no one unless it serves them. And it's been written about this type of disorder that the amount of self-love is tremendous. The amount of them feeling, what's the word? Worthy. I'm sure there's a better word for that, but they feel deserving of everything, and they think they're great, and everybody else around them is kind of subordinate compared to them, and so on and so on. And another thing that I observed about what people have written about narcissism is that other people have observed, aside from myself, that most of them are successful. Possibly all of them. They're usually doing pretty well career-wise, as far as social status and whatever. Now, I am not encouraging anyone to be a narcissist, but my point in this podcast this episode of this podcast is, there's one extreme, which is a complete narcissist, And there's another extreme that's a complete giver, like nurturer by nature. So the answer is, again, balance. Balancing your energy. And I know that getting that balance is easier said than done, but nonetheless doable. I mean, if you go slightly to the left or slightly to the right, it's no big deal. But like I said, you do not want to completely deplete yourself of everything you've got into other people, nor do you want to take all of your energy and just totally use it for yourself. So like Buddha says, it's the middle way. And I know a lot of my podcast, when I talk about spiritual stuff, good energies, bad energies, relationships, whatnot, there's a ton of advice here on my podcast in a lot of different realms of life. But, and it sounds to maybe to a lot of people very new age, but you know, the name New Age, at the end of the day, it's really not that new. It's funny to me that we call it New Age because a lot of this spiritual stuff is centuries old. So stuff that goes on for that long, for that many centuries or whatever, you know, there's got to be some truth in it in order for it to last, because if it was completely not true, then it wouldn't be around for so many ages. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope you guys get a lot out of it and it's helpful in your journey. And I think I'm going to talk in future episodes more about self-love, more about energy vampires or whatever. But the most important thing that I want to get to my listeners is I want you guys to just be aware of how much power, how much ability, how much magic is within yourself, okay? So I want to help people to tap into all of that good stuff. That's what I'm looking to achieve. And like I've said on previous podcasts, I always wanted to be in a position to share whatever I can give or however I can help people out there. So, and that was my inspiration to create this podcast. I made that commitment to myself and all of my listeners that this would be my thing, to try to be able to reach people in a larger scale. So anyway, if you'd like to have a reading done by me, I do phone consultations as well. If you're long distance, you can be able to reach me at 201-953-0658. And for all of you that are watching me live on Instagram, thank you so much. Go ahead and click the link to my bio and you can be able to listen to all of my episodes. Feel free to pop in if you're in Center City, Philadelphia, 810 Chestnut Street, Center City, Philadelphia. I wish you all the best of luck, and thank you so much for joining in. Comments and reviews are welcome. And let me see, what else? Yeah, so make sure that you're always tuning in because I have a lot of cool stuff coming up soon where you will have an opportunity to get some of my intention candles and aromatherapy candles and some bags of joy. So let's spread the positive energy. Good luck, everybody.